something special inside you.
Welcome to GNG Podcast with your host, speaker, best-selling author, Chaz Jackson.
Yo, what's going on, kings and queens? It's your boy Chaz Jackson coming back to you once again, representing GNG, Gift and the Gift. Hey, you know what I'm on is we're all gifted differently to make a difference. And I'm telling y'all, we have some difference makers in the building, ready to shine their light on GNG Podcast. Kings and queens, are y'all ready to get it?
We're ready.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
My Chip Baker voice, let's go, man. We have the Impact of Influence Volume 5 in the building, about to empower each and every one of you, inspire hope, and just transform lives on this show as they've been doing in their lanes across the country, doing some amazing things, helping other people grow towards their greatest version of themselves. And this is such an honor to get each and every one of them on the GNG Podcast platform. And special shout out to my guy, Chip Baker, who's on this episode with us. Been chipped in for a minute, so every time I get to connect with him, it's always a blessing. It's always a blessing. I enjoy what each and every one of y'all are doing. But what I want to
some of the new ones don't know that yet.
They don't know the chip in. We gotta get them.
Yeah, got to get them caught up on it, huh?
We have to.
Yeah.
So whoever's listening to us right now, I just want to encourage you, go ahead and share this out. Drop it in the comments what you're taking from this conversation as we get ready to progress through. What I just want to start out with each and every one of y'all, just take the time, share your name and just kind of share the things that you're passionate about. This is the audience is eager to learn more about you.
Right. So let's Megan, you want to go first and we'll go around the horn and I'll finish up.
Okay, awesome. What's up, everybody? I am 𝗓𝗄𝗃, and I am passionate about, I'm super passionate about my relationships, friend, romantic, family. I'm passionate about growing, always learning and growing. And I am super passionate about music. If I am ever going through a rough patch or a good day, I always need my jams. It doesn't matter. Give me some like jazz, give me some rap, give me some hip hop. I don't care. Give me country and I'll make something good happen out of music.
I love it. Love it. Thank you.
J-Lo.
Ooh, she passing it to me. Awesome. So my name is Jessica. Yep, J-Lo. Ooh, I need to change my name on my screen. Jessica Lowe, just like you got the Chaz, I got the J-Lo. Let's see. Passionate. What am I passionate about? I'm passionate about life, like all of it, the good, but the challenging moments too. Like, honestly, I really love those the most. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, right? But I feel like those are the ones that when we stretch ourselves, that's when real magic happens. And that's when the good moments happen. When you're stretching, they're like, are you sure I'm supposed to be here? And the answer is yes. There's no if, that's like you are. So that's what I'm really passionate about. Just life in general, just soaking it all in, the good, the challenging, and everything in between. So I'll pass this to, let's see, Tamika. We're going to do all the ladies first today.
That's it.
Ladies
first.
Let's
go.
Let's go.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Tamika Chop-Martin, and what I'm passionate about is living on purpose with purpose daily. So that purpose changes from day to day, from moment to moment. So that's what I'm passionate about. If I'm living on purpose with purpose daily, then I'm doing exactly what God has purposed me to do.
Boom, I love it.
I'm going to pass it to my brother-in-law, Charles.
I appreciate that, Tamika. My name is Charles Woods. My passion every day, all day, every day is positive energy, man. Living with positive energy. You wake up in the morning and you can start your day with positive energy. You are one step ahead every day. So that's what I'm passionate about. That's what I speak on every day, all day, no matter what the platform is, positive energy. I'm gonna pass this on to Bruce.
Hey, what's up, brother Charles? Well, nice to meet all of you, Tamika, Charles, and Chaz. I didn't have the pleasure of meeting all of you, but thanks for having me on this podcast with all of you, with Mr. Chip Baker, with Megan and Mrs. J-Lo. I saw the correction. I saw Jessica Perez. I was like, where's the J-Lo? But great to connect with all of you. Looking forward to hearing about all your stories. But this is Bruce Villarreal. I'm originally from Los Angeles, California, from a city by the name of Hawthorne, California, where the Beach Boys are from. But I've been living in El Paso, Texas for the last 26 years. So a little bit over half of my life. So I'm more of an El Pasoan than a Cali boy. But, so Bruce Villarreal is a Mexican Cuban born in the United States. And what am I passionate about? I'm passionate about living, loving, and learning. That's what Bruce is passionate about, and happy to connect with all of you. Thank you so much, Chaz.
I appreciate you, Bruce. Thank you for sharing.
Awesome, man.
My pleasure.
Everybody got to go, right? Everybody's good.
Yeah.
All right, so I'll finish this up with it. I am Chip Baker, and my passion, man, my mission is I take care of people that take care of people. And so that's what I strive to do, each moment of each day. And, the big man has blessed us all with amazing gifts. Come on, Chaz. The big man has blessed us all with amazing gifts. It's our job to figure out what those gifts are. And really at the end of the day, there's a gift in a gift. Come on, man.
Come on,
Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Let's go.
Hey, thanks each and every one of y'all for giving more clarity, focus, and consistency on your passions, doing the amazing things that you're doing in your lane, as far as your families and the community, everyone on social media around this planet that they're going to be looking at this book and just filling themselves with so much value because of the confidence, the beliefs that you have in yourself. It's just so impactful and it's radiating. The energy is going up. The energy is going up on this episode. And I just want to go around. I want each and every one of you just to share the title of your section in the book, Impact of Influence, and what that title means to you, if that makes sense. So I want to dive there, if that's cool with everybody.
Awesome.
We can go with the same order, ladies. Y'all go first.
Awesome. So my chapter is called Dream It, Do It. And it means the world to me because I did write about someone close to me that I had recently lost very, very recently. And she was an eye-opener for me in so many ways. And the biggest thing that I want anyone to ever take from me is, as I've said before, failure is part of your process, whether it's with life, whether it's with work, whether it's with relationships. Don't be scared to fail. So many people don't make the attempt to go after something they want so badly deep down because they're so super scared of failing. And you can't be scared of that because, again, it will force you to grow. It will force you to change, but change in the right way. And again, as I've mentioned so many times before, I live by this, but God will make things happen to you for a reason. Things don't happen to you, they will happen for you. And it's, to be honest, it's none of your business on what's going to happen. You just need to learn how to smile and live every day in the present and be proud and be grateful. Give yourself some grace, love yourself, and look back at who you were when you were younger. Look at yourself 10 years ago and give yourself a hand clap and a pat on the shoulder and just realize that God is making all this happen for you. And it's because you had to just go with the flow and accept the failure and learn how to change and follow that path He wants you on. So have some courage. And if there's something deep down in your heart that you've been wanting to do, or someone to talk to, or rekindle a relationship of some sort, or even a job, then this is your chance in 2023 to go after it. This book will be coming out next month, and it is the perfect timing for those New Year's resolutions, that new you. And again, this book doesn't matter what stage in life you're at, whether it's at the beginning, whether you're in the middle going through something, or whether you have been a veteran at something for years, this book is for you. So this is your time. You can, and you will make it happen. Just believe in yourself. That's my chapter.
Love that. Love that.
I love that. Thank you so much, Megan, for sharing that. And I call it failure. Failure is not the enemy. One of my favorite quotes by Michael Jordan, he says, He said it in an interview back in the day where he said, I've missed over 9,000 shots. I lost over 300 games, 26 times I'm entrusted with the game-winning shot, and I missed. I failed over and over again. That's why I'm successful. So
Facts.
yeah, exactly. So yeah, that failure, we got to step back and learn, take what perspective we can from it to make ourselves grow into a strong version of ourselves from that failure. I'm excited to dive deeper into that, Megan, on your chapter and learn more from that. But thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you. After you, J-Lo. Get it, girl.
Awesome. Awesome. So yeah, so I'm super excited. I'm excited to read everyone's chapters. I got to be honest with you. Every time we get on here, I'm just like, when we get in the book, Chip? When we get in the book, Chip? It's kind of like that, you know, I'm ready. But my chapter, similarly, it's about the challenges that I mentioned before, right? I really see so many growthful opportunities in challenging moments. That's really what I wanted to speak about when we talked about impacts. And for me, impacts have come from really negative moments in my life. Like that has been turning moments for me to become the person and the positive energy. I hope you're feeling it. I hope you're feeling it, Charles, the positive energy that you bring because of a negative situation. But so many people take that negative situation and kind of sit in that zone. And I'm like, we got to figure out what the learning experience is, right? So the name of my chapter, the title is Turning Negatives into Positive, Impactful Moments, like impactful positives, right? How we turn those negatives into impactful positives. And it's interesting, as I started thinking about that, man, I was like, okay, there was a situation when I was a kid, and then there was a situation when I was in my 30s, there was a situation in my 40s, and they all seem to have a thread where someone said, you're not enough. Just like overall, you're just not enough. Like a ceiling got hit, boom. And I was like, I know I'm short, and I typically don't hit ceilings. Usually when I say short, like 4'11", I've never hit a ceiling in my life, but people seem to put you in this box. And I'm like, not okay. That's not okay. And so I came out of those moments in a real positive space, like, okay, we're going to change the direction. We're going to change the trajectory. We're going to make it happen. And all of a sudden, like powerful things started happening, right? Because I dove into what that challenging moment was. And I said, oh, okay, this is a reason. Like, I know your story, Chaz. Like, how many times did you have some negative moments, right? Some challenging moments. I mean, recently, right? Recently, where you're like, you get tested a little bit and you said, nope, there's a reason for this. And so I'm excited to see if anyone else kind of can read through that chapter and say, ooh, that's been me somewhere. And what can I do a little bit different, right? The next time something happens, or even taking that negative space from back here and applying it today and turn it into something different than what it was before. So looking forward to, like I said, so much more. And I'm excited to hear what everyone else has to share tonight as well. So back to you, Chaz. Thanks a lot for having us.
J-Lo dropping some gems. Thank you so much for sharing what you did and turning negatives into positives. And it just made me think about this young man. I spoke at this school once, and he referenced his grandmother when he said this quote. He said, a bad attitude is like a flat tire. If you don't fix it, you're not going anywhere, and it's stuck. And I was just like, and that's how negativity is. It's like if we don't pump it up and fix that thing, man, we're not going to go anywhere. So I'm excited to dive into that chapter. But Ms. Martin, I think you up.
Oh, yeah. So my chapter is called Grief to Greater. And so when I was a kid, I witnessed my brother get killed by a drunk driver. I was 6, he was 3, and I had an older cousin who was 10 years old. And so the culmination, as I talked about, of that grief was I recently lost my mom last year. And so as I was thinking on what truly has impacted my life and what I have been dealing with and pushing through and growing through, because I don't go through it, I grow through it my entire life, is grief.
I like
so
that.
What I have done to grow through that is I have used the gifts that God gave me, because there's a reason why that wasn't me that didn't get killed. So I'm a woman of faith, and the Lord revealed to me in my 20s that my brother was born to save my life. And after having conversations with family members, I realized that I had to go out there and I had to do it, because again, the Lord saved me for a reason. I have to put out what he wants me to put out. I can't be mediocre. I have to take it all the way up. So I use that grief as fuel to go get it, to make sure that I'm making an impact. Like I said, to live on purpose with purpose daily, because I could use it to be addicted to this and be addicted to that. But I use it to be addicted to knowledge. I use it to put knowledge in my head. I use it to perfect running track. I used it to perfect being a teacher, being a speaker, being an entrepreneur. I use that fuel, that grief, to do things greater, because in order for me to be able to bless others, I have to have the resources to be able to do that. So that's what I talk about in Grief to Greater. Again, the culmination of my grief and how I use that to fuel me to do what God has purposed me to do.
Wow, thank you so much for that clarity on your topic as far as your title and what that entails in that chapter. And yeah, and I'm sure everybody agrees with me. It's like with grief, we can either fall into a victim role, or we can find ways to become victorious in that. And I just want to applaud you for not using, you know, the situation with your sibling to kind of hold you down, but to give that grief a voice and change lives. Because I know throughout my life, you know, and there's been an emotional roller coaster. We all have our stories, trials and tribulations that we go through. But a lot of times, you know, we can get into this situation where we feel like we're the only people going through it. Like, why me? Why me? But a lot of times when, you know, over the years, I began to open up and share, that's how we continue to build those relationships and to build the community around us, to be able to push through that grief and to be able to, and for me to speak and to speak about the things that I'm going through, it helps inspire me to keep pushing forward, because I'm inspiring hope into other people. So thank you so much for sharing that, Ms. Martin.
All right. My chapter, my first real influence, it was about time for me to really focus in a little bit deeper about the first influence that I really had in my life. And what I do say about all of these chapters that we have written in the past has given me a platform just to reflect on some of those situations that I haven't had or just didn't take the time to reflect on. So this one it was a time for me to really focus on that. My first real influence, and that was my sister, my oldest sister. She was taking care of me when I was in preschool. She would be the person that walked me to preschool in the morning before she went to junior high school. You know, just the time that she spent with us, with me and my older but younger sister, the time that she spent with us unselfishly, you know, I can't remember a time when she was upset, frustrated, mad, said anything negative to us while she was taking care of us. She just did it because that's who she was. And those things that I learned from her was strength, resilience, and love. You know, that exuded out of her through that time that we spent together, through the time that we lived to this day. Like, she's just a great person. And without her, there would be no me. You know, my parents, of course, without them, there would be no me. But without my older sister, like, I don't know where I would be in life. So I just took time in this chapter just to kind of focus on her. And just pay homage to her and everything that she did for me to get me where I am today.
Thank you, Charles, for diving deep on a little bit about what's in your chapter. And man, there's so many people in my life that if I didn't have them, man, I don't know where I would be. You know, I think we all can relate to, you know, whether it's a sibling or a grandma. For some reason, when you was talking, my grandma popped in my head, you know, of, you know, my mom going through trials growing up, or my mother, I'm sorry, going through trials, and then grandma just stepping in and say, hey, you can come stay with me, when a lot of people was turning away. So I don't know where I'd be without some people in my life that were ahead of me and just inspired and influenced and gave me hope to keep pushing, It's like the Lord put those certain people in your path. Like, whenever you're wanting to give up, you know, it's like somebody will come. It's just kind of like just having that steadfast hope and faith. Yeah, and I see some hands moving. I think some other people can relate to me on that.
Oh, yeah. I just need you all to know, Charles, you need to go talk to my brother and sister, because I was always the oldest, but dang, I need you to go talk to them.
No doubt. The big sister is everything. Big sister is everything to me, man. Just like another mom. You're like, just like you said, Chaz, too. My parents going through trials and tribulations. She stepped up unselfishly. Like she stepped up and took care of us when time was needed, you know, and guided me with words sometimes when she couldn't do it any other way. Just guide me with words and just pouring into me with positive energy and a faith that we were, you know, that there's something out there for us that's going that we're destined for. So
man,
awesome.
And it made me think about my little baby Nico, man. So I have two for those who on the call on this platform with me tonight. I have two older daughters and I have my little baby boy, and then I'm thinking, you know, I'm hoping 𝗬𝗪 pour back in a little Nico, like your sister poured back into you, and just supporting you and encouraging you. At times I feel bad for little man. I'm like, man, you're gonna have three mamas, man. They're gonna get them straight though, I think, but they need some help too. So but that's really inspiring, man. I pray that my girls can be like that for my son as well, little Nico, as he progresses and gets older, and I think they will. All right, Mr. Bruce, I think you up, brother.
I'm ready. Thank you so much, everyone. And well, all I can say to start or begin with is, you know, God is great, man. It's amazing to hear all these little stories and added anecdotes of everybody's life story. And, you know, my heart's just like, you know, ooh, you know, I'm feeling it in my heart. I think that's beautiful when you can share those little stories. And you know, I'm sure it's not the full chapter, but to hear those little tidbits of love and empowerment and overcoming, I think it's inspiring to me. So I'm encouraged and inspired beforehand. So thank you, everyone. Miss Tamika, you know, my condolences to you. But how powerful, you know, a young little girl. What I can see in this podcast, when I can see the child in each and one of you, because we're all children in these human adult bodies. And when we're talking about our experiences, our livelihood, our suffering, and, you know, like you said, it's not about, it's about growing through our experiences and becoming these, you know, full grown men and women with wisdom, experience, and full of love, and not bitterness, but love. And so my chapter, folks, is my title is Rising Up. How to go, you know, through the deserts of our life. And I think we all have like a similar topic where we're going, you know, we all have been through or are going through those deserts in our life. And, you know, you're like, God, why the heck am I going through this desert? Please stop. I'm done. I don't want to do 40 years. I mean, cut it off now. And what I was reading, you know, every day I'm learning. Like I said, you know, I love living, loving, and learning. And I was reading a book yesterday by the title of I think a Faith Made Millionaire. And this gentleman saying that God puts us through these scenarios so that we can rely on him, because on our own strength, man, we would be out, you know, we would be down and out. And thank God, you know, because he does teach us to put us on our knees sometimes, so it can humble us. It can help us value and help us to also have empathy for one another and to encourage. So, you know, that's mainly my topic, you know, how it is that, you know, I mentioned in the other podcast, part of my story, I lost it all. I lost my family, I lost my kids, lost my business. And you're like, oh my God, get on your knees and pray and, you know, value everything. And, you know, God is great. He does promise that, you know, you will get returned that which is yours, and it's happening. And, you know, this is part of that blessing. And I'm blessed to hear all your stories. I was blessed to meet Mr. Chip Baker, who's, you know, I say he's our pillar to connect us all. And also the thousands and millions of people that we will reach one day through these books, through these series. And it's spiritual based. I can see it's beyond just, you know, words and just, you know, superficial. I think it's touched my heart, and I'm sure you guys already touched people's heart on your own merits. But it's awesome to connect with all of you and keep spreading that love. So that's my story. How to, you know, go through the deserts of life, and, you know, understand that it's for us to grow. Like Miss Tamika said, yeah, we got to grow. There's no choice. You just got to grow. Either you grow and, you know, learn to love, learn to appreciate, learn to value, and also understand our fellow human being, brother, sister, you know, husband, wife, partner, child, anybody who's around us that we can inspire and encourage. And when you guys were talking about your you know, your brother and sister, I'm like, I hope that I can be that reflection one day as well, in one way or another. And I think that's awesome that maybe we can be that brother, that sister not only to our own blood family, but to other people who surround us who need that brother and sister. So, you know, I'm encouraged this evening. That's part of my chapter, Chaz, and I'm looking forward to seeing yours and reading everybody else's chapter. And Mrs. Jessica, by the way, I was like, who does she remind me of? You remind me of Mary Lou Retton. I don't remember. She's a champion, right? Yes or no? Right? So yeah, Chip's laughing. So I was like, Mary Lou Retton, little short, you know, high-powered woman. You know, that's what you remind me, Mrs. Jessica. But lots of love to everyone. Thanks for sharing, Charles, Chaz, and Tamika. That I hadn't had the pleasure of hearing your stories. And you know, I'm looking forward to, you know, connecting and moving forward with, you know, sharing that love and changing people's lives. Thank you so much, Chaz, for the opportunity.
Boom. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you for diving deep on your story, sharing your topic. Man, you guys are on fire this evening, man. This has been amazing. This hearing, and I know you guys didn't necessarily say that you was super passionate about like talking about this, but I can tell like you guys are very passionate about what you're doing, how you did it, how, you know, something greater than yourself. The Lord used you to type, to put these words in this book, and I know it's going to be life-changing for whoever picks it up. The Impact of Influence, Volume 5. And when is it dropping again, Chip? Next?
Early December. Yeah,
early December. Early December
is our launch, and so I mean it's right around the corner. We're looking forward to that.
Yes. And whoever's tuning in right now, we're talking about the Impact of Influence, Volume 5. We have some of the co-authors led by my guy, 𝘬𝘂𝗧𝗵𝗲. This dropping some amazing value. If you missed some, go ahead, rewind this bad boy back, get your pen and paper if you forgot to get it at the beginning, because so much gold is being shared right now. And man, Bruce, man, you hit with that desert, man. That desert, that seed that you just planted still going in my head, because it made me think about my college football coach, Matt Rule. He was actually one of the coaches or coach for the Carolina Panthers. Unfortunately, my man got let go. But long story short, thinking about the desert, my freshman year in college, it was some pain involved in that. But keeping some meat on the bone with that story, one of the phrases that he said was, "Pain is temporary, giving up is forever," and that really hit home for me. When I'm thinking about us being rock bottom, you know, being in that desert of, you know, hanging in there. You know, the Bible tells us, let us not become weary of doing good, because at a proper time we'll reap a harvest if we don't give up. So this hanging in there and holding steadfast. And I know each and every one of you guys have went through some trials and tribulations to get where you are. And it's like when you look back, that test became your testimony to be able to write the words that you've written into this book. And last but not least, my guy Chip, share your title and and what you're sharing in your chapter, sir.
Yeah, man. So the title of my chapter is Influence is Loving the Process. And I start my chapter with, man, one of my favorite quotes, man, like in my top 5 favorite quotes ever by Dr. Martin Luther the King, the King, right? Martin Luther the King.
MLK.
Say it with the head, right? So, but the quote is, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in times of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. And so, you know, those people that influenced and impacted me in my life, and they knew where they stood in times of challenge and controversy. And they knew it was a process to do that, and they loved that process. And so, you know, I learned that influence is loving the process of influence and impacting by watching those people. And so, you know, me being an educator, I'm always teaching, I guess. And so in my chapter, I discuss what I feel the process is, and I break down process as an acronym, but one of them I will share with you is commitment, is one of the words in there, which is the C in process, commitment. And I'll share the story about bacon and eggs, right? And so when you look at bacon and eggs, so the eggs come from the chicken, right? And the chicken, lays the egg and goes about its business, right? The bacon, and some people say ham, but I say bacon because I'm a bacon guy, right? But the bacon comes from the pig, right? And we know what happens to the pig for us to have that bacon, right? So the chicken is involved, but that pig, he committed, right? And so in order to make sure that we influence and impact, it's in that process, we got to be committed to it, right? We got to be committed to growing through our go-through. We got to be committed to understanding that we have people around us that's going to help us. We got to be committed to rising up. We have to be committed to all of those things that all of the authors have talked about. And what that does is that allows us to influence and impact. And that's what my chapter is about.
Boom. Let's
go.
get it. Let's go.
Let's go.
Go get it. Thank you, Chip, man. Thank you for diving deeper on your end, on your title,
Yes,
and what
sir.
your chapter is about. And I love that quote, man. Martin Luther King Jr. I love you started with that, man. It's one of my favorite quotes as well. And I heard you talk about process and commitment. Victory. My guy John Maxwell, he says victory is not given to the one who starts, but to the one who finishes, right? And that, as we finish working on that process, and that's something that I take the daily challenge on, and I'm sure each and every one of you will agree with me on just falling in love with the process, because more than the opportunity itself, and just being in the moment and enjoying the little things that's coming along the way, because personal pleasures are temporary and investing in other people lasts forever. So I've really been on this journey of falling in love with the process, and when I say process, it's more of how I carry myself and handle business on a daily basis, right? And so really controlling my performance, right? Knowing that, like, does my performance stay the same regardless of the outcome, and really giving that 110% led by the Lord as much as I can. So I love what each and every one of you shared with your titles and a little glimpse of what your chapter is all about. And I want to move into this. So the audience, as far as an application point, something that they can take and leave with outside of this episode, what you guys got for the audience as far as the application point in growing towards becoming a stronger version of themselves, as they strive and to grow stronger in their lane, to bring their hidden dreams to reality? What comes to mind as an application point to take from your chapter? You guys will share one with us. Do it. No more excuses. No more, I'm going to wait until next year. Just get started now. I mean, you'll never start if you keep prepping. So just do it. It doesn't matter. You don't have to have all the money in the world to start. You don't have to be perfect to start. You just need to start. So do it right now. And the best way to do it is to start with this book. I am not kidding, because each of us have such crazy, amazing value to offer any question that you have, because we've been there. We have been there. We've gone through the mud. I love what you just said right now. Enjoy the process. I love when I had started, as much as I hated it at that time, I love it now because it helped humble me and showed my roots and my heart. And that's one thing I know that all my clients love about me is they can see my passion. But that wouldn't have been there if I wouldn't have just at least started. So no matter what is on your brain right now, do it now. No more excuses.
Love it. Love it. For me, it's blinders. Now, that sounds kind of crazy, but I think about my dad used to love horse racing, right? And I used to sit next to him all the time. My dad's been gone for he passed away in 1992. But I still think of some of the things he said, and I would go to the horse track with him and we'd sit there. He didn't want to bet. He just wanted to come watch the horses race, right? That's what we do. And we sit down and he's like, you got to put blinders. And it's blinders for what others say, but the blinders also to keep you kind of locked in. a lot of times we don't look in the mirror because we're all about everybody else and what everybody else is doing. But so I think of blinders in that way that keeps me focused on where I need to be, so that when those naysayers are out there, or the negative impacts, or all of those other extraneous things are there, I can stay locked in to what I know is true to me without anybody else, right? Because at the end of the day, that's who I serve, you know, a much higher purpose. And I love where you're coming from, Tamika, because we all do. But in order for me to do that, I got to be here. I can't be out here. So blinders is just a word that just popped into my head. And I know it's not my word. It's someone else has told me to say it. So I'm kind of there, right? My dad, and well, I think there's a lot of stuff coming in now right now. I was like filtering in. So it's all about that for me. So I'll pass it over to Tamika.
Chaz, man, you hit that scripture. That's my promise scripture. Let us not grow weary in doing, as Megan said, good, for at a proper time, not our time, but God's time, we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. So it goes back to the doing. It goes back to also manifesting, because I always say I'm just a little girl from Bryan by way of Calvert, Texas, and vice versa. But the Lord chose me to do great things. And if I didn't believe and visualize it and manifest it and make it plain and stand on his promises, then, and have my faith, then I would know where I would be. Because again, I'm a product of a teenage mother. I'm a Black woman in America. I'm from a small town. These are a lot of things that people would just, I mean, even when they counted me out when I was in my mother's womb, but God had planned, for he know the plans for me. So I would tell people to make sure you make it plain, visualize, and do not grow weary in doing. You got to get out there, faith and works. If you're going to win for me stands for works, intentionality, never stop. So in order for you to win, you can't just talk about it. You got to walk it like you talk it. So that's what I would tell. That's what I would tell the audience. Walk it like you talk it, and don't grow weary in doing good.
All right.
Boom.
Like for me, when you think about, we talked about the process, several of you guys on here talked about the process, but when you're dealing with the process, you got to be resilient. So for me, one thing you take away from the process isn't going to be perfect. It's not going to look like you want it to look like. You're going to run into your trials and tribulations. You're going to fail a little bit, but you got to be resilient in that piece. You got to keep pushing forward. You know, you got to reach out. You got to make those relationships with people and get support when support is needed. Don't shut up and be in your own space and get down on yourself. Be resilient, man. Bounce back. Let's fight. Let's fight through that. So for me, what you take away from it, for me, what I like for you to take away from this is just being resilient through the process.
Amen. Well, thank you all. I just want to share something I heard by Dr. Myles Monroe last night. He said the what's the secret sauce? He said the secret sauce is your gift. I have a gift. You have a gift. We have a gift. And you know, we won't say it with Chaz. He has the gift for sure. But so the secret sauce is in the gift. So I think the magic is, what is your gift? What is that gift you have? What is that story you have to tell? What are those lessons learned that you got to share that will change someone's life? And sometimes we can we underestimate the power we all have sometimes, and the power that the audience has or is listening to this message today. Hey, you have a story to tell. You have a gift. What is that gift? And you got to rise up, and you have to break through to rise up and go through that desert. So at the end of the day, what is the idea is rise up, discover your gift, and share that gift with the world. So thank you all. God bless you.
That's good stuff, man. I think for me, and everybody's gone, right? Wanted to make sure we got everybody's good. All right. So for me, I think the takeaway, the nugget is we have to value our experiences. You know, I'm on here and I'm just listening and taking notes and learning and you know, being grateful, you know, that someone would think enough of us to have us on their platform. You know, someone would think enough of us to be a part of this team and this family of the impact of influence, you know, several people. And so, man, I'm just truly grateful for that and truly valuing the experience, right? And so, you know, a little piece that I write about in my chapter as well is I think that in that process, we talked about the process, there's an experience to impact cycle, right? And so for me, it's experience brings knowledge. Knowledge allows us to learn. Once we learn, we apply what we learn, and that lets us influence others. And then influencing others makes an everlasting impact, right? And it's a cycle. Like you continue to do that cycle each moment of each day, but it all starts with just being in the moment, being present, because your presence is the present, right? And so being in the moment and valuing the present time allows us to just influence and impact others for generations, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not just the now thing, but being in the moment right now, like it'll last for generations. Like that's crazy to me, right? And so, in saying that, I can say that because I've had like people in my family that have had things that in the lineage that they've done, that they've learned, that they've passed on, right? And so I'm just continuing to strive to pass that on as well. And so just value the experiences that you have, be grateful for what you have. Bless you,
Man, I'm telling y'all cooking with fish grease. I'm telling you.
Hotter than fish grease, boy. Boy, it is hotter than fish grease.
Y'all hot, man. Y'all hot. Y'all hot. I love it. I love it. Hey, I know my soul's been enlarged just being in front of you amazing people. And I know the people that's listening right now, they're like, this is some good stuff. They're taking notes. And I also just want to encourage once again, whoever's listening to us, go ahead and share this out. Get this in front of as many willing listeners that you feel to be able to resonate with what these beautiful people are sharing, these kings and queens that's on this platform, GNG podcast today. And again, my soul's been enlarged, and I love my man Bruce. He dropped some Miles Monroe, and I love his definition of what our soul is made of. And he said it's your mind, your willpower, and your emotion. So when I say my soul's been enlarged mentally, emotionally, and my willpower to go get it, hey, it's taking full throttle, and I'm definitely embracing this process with each and every one of you that's on this episode with me tonight. And hey, the greatest investment is in people, and that's what y'all doing through this book, The Impact of Influence. And I know that somebody's listening right now. They're like, I want to get more in front of what these amazing speakers, authors are doing out in the world. I love to just go around and you guys just share your contact information. Please share your social media platforms and how the audience can get more in front of what God calls you guys to do.
Awesome. So I'll go first. This is Megan. So the weight loss side hustle that I do, I like to focus on health, mental growth, getting your business started. That's all at 𝗵𝗳𝗃, 𝗓𝗪𝗧𝗃 0124, because I got to be the one and only. And that's on Instagram. For the insurance purposes, that's at Megan Marie 0124. And again, that's on Instagram. And if you want to reach me on Facebook, it's Megan Marie Randall. Thank you, Chaz. You're awesome.
Awesome. This is Jessica 𝗵𝗪𝗪, and yes, that's exactly where you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. Same thing on Twitter. Listen, there's too many Jessica 𝗵𝗪s, so I had to throw the 𝗫𝗪 in the middle, right? So you can find me on Facebook there as well. Yeah, loved LinkedIn, loved it all, and that's really where I met Chip. How many of us met Chip on LinkedIn? I'm just curious. That's where no. Wow. All right. Chip and I, we got a little LinkedIn connection. Awesome. Well, cool. I'm going to pass this over to Tamika, and I'd love for you all to know where you can find this powerful lady. What you got?
Oh my God, Tamika 𝗳𝗵𝗪 on Facebook, Tamika C. Martin on Twitter, my Instagram. I have 3 of those. So Unyielding Realtor, Unyielding Realty Group which is my my real estate, and Glam and Girlfriends, which is my LLC that I have. The Glam stands for Go Getter, Leader, Advocator, Motivator. And I'm gonna be honest, just Google me, Google Tamika 𝗳𝗵𝗪, and you will see me in multifaceted, all the hair, all the different things I'm doing. Y'all Google your girl Tamika 𝗳𝗵𝗪. Unyielding Realtor, Unyielding Realty Group, and I've been an educator for over 20 years. So y'all, for real, Google me. Love you guys. Thank you for letting me be on this platform. And guess what? Like I said, volume 5, all the way live. Check us out.
You go, girl. Go, girl.
I want to start off by saying thank you, Chaz, for having us on the platform this evening, man. It's always a pleasure to see you. Love the things that you're doing. Thank you for joining all of the audience. And it's always great to see my Impact family, man. It's a big family, and just to see any members and just spend time together is awesome. Love everybody on here. Love what everybody shared. You can reach me at Charles Woods WW on all platforms, keeping it simple so you can connect with me if you want to connect with me. Thank you again. Bruce, take it away.
Hey, thank you, Charles. Bruce Villarreal. I have a crazy last name, but if you're friends with Chip Baker, you can find me on his friends list. I just requested Charles and Chaz. So wherever these guys are at, you'll find me. And it's Mr. BV, the original, at Instagram, but it's Bruce Villarreal, straight and simple, on Facebook. Love to connect with all of you. Bruce Villarreal at iCloud.com. Connect with them, you connect with me, and vice versa. So God bless you all. Thank you, Chaz. Thank you, everyone else.
That's awesome, man. So wherever Chip is at, Bruce is at. And I love it, man. No, but wherever Chip is at, the whole Impact family is at too. So, and I just asked that, first, I just want to say, man, Chaz, again, man, thanks so much for having us. I don't know if some of the other authors know that you are, in the early Impact of Influence book. So Chaz is a part of the family as well. Man, thank you for having us on your platform. Always a good time to connect and link with you. But all of my social media is at Chip Baker TSC, as in the Success Chronicles, except for Twitter, and it's Chip Baker 19. I'm on all of the social medias, whatever your preference is, I'm there. I don't want to be any excuse for you not to get this positive inspiration and motivation. So please go check it out. I ask that you would, take the time, please take the time to go follow each of these authors. And even when the book comes out, I'm intentional about, we put our social media in the book. There's a picture of each person, their social media is in the book. So please take the time to go and connect with them and check out what they have. And I promise you, you won't be disappointed. And I ask that you would just go to their sites and purchase the book, purchase a signed copy from them, so that, you can connect with them and we can learn and all grow together. But thank you, authors, again. Thank you, Chaz, for having us, man. Always a good time.
Always.
Yes, sir.
I don't think I could say it any better than what Chip just shared. Please go connect with each and every one of these authors. And once again, for me, I don't take people's time for granted. And for each and every one of you to take the time out of your chaotic lives, I know we all have stuff going on, to come on here and just share. I don't think you understand how much that means to me. So thank you for coming on. You're part of the GNG family, gifting the gift. You're gifted differently to make a difference. So, hey, I live by that. I would go to my grave believing in that. And I truly support each and every one of you guys, because if Chip rocking with you, obviously I'm rocking with you, because I think the world is go. So let's continue to go get it. I'm excited about the book dropping in December. I'm definitely getting me a copy. And once again, whoever's listening, grab your copies, all right? And I want each and every one of you to stay up with GNG. More episodes coming soon. As always, family, I want you to do 2 things for me. Keep that crown on your heart. And please remember this. We are God's echo. Impact of Influence, Volume 5.
Thank you for listening to GNG Podcast. Remember, you are gifted differently to make a difference. Please visit ChazJacksonSpeaks.org and let's continue to grow together. God bless.